Today we're going to talk about how to convert from exponential to radical form and back. So we learned today that this denominator here is always your index. And that index is always what goes on the outside of the radical. That's the little number next to the radical sign. So to write this, I'm going to draw my radical sign. The 3, because that's the index, goes on the outside right there. And then I'm going to have a 2 on the inside. That's my radicand. And then this denominator here is going to be the power on the radicand. So now this is exponential form, and this is the equivalent radical form. So we'll do another one. We have 6 to the 5/3. So again, we're going to label our index, which is always the denominator. So that becomes the little number outside the radical. And then the 6 goes on the inside. And then it's going to be to the 5th power. We'll do one more. Let's say we have a 4x here. We want all of that to the negative 1/2 power. Okay, this one's a little complicated. There's a few steps on this one. The first one to note is that this is a negative. So I know at some point I'm going to have to flip this. And there are a couple ways we can do this. What we can do first is we can flip it. So if we flip it first, we get 1 over 4x, and that's going to be to the 1/2 power. Now that I have that, what I need to do is ignore this 1 and just focus on this right here. So this 2 is my index. So when I write this, I'll have the square root and the 2 index right there, and the 4x goes on the inside with all of that to the 1 power. But since it's a 1, we don't need to write it to the 1 power. And now I'm going to put this 1 back on top. Now, since we know that this 2 is always there already, it's invisible basically, I can just get rid of it. And my final answer would be 1 over the square root of 4x. Another way we can look at this problem, we have 4x, all that to the negative 1/2 again. What we can do is we can take care of this right here right away, making it a radical. So this is our index again. Now my index, even though this is a negative power, your index cannot be negative. So my index is going to be the 2 out front here with this 4x. Now this 4x is what's going to have the negative 1 now. And now since we know that's a negative, we can flip it. So I have 1 over the square root of 4x again. And you'll notice I did not write the little 2 again because we know that there's an invisible 2 there, so there's no reason to write it. And that is going to be my final answer. Now we're going to practice with some radicals and writing them in exponential form. So here we have radical 10, and all of that's going to be cubed. Well, this radical 10, remember, always has a 2 out front here. That's going to be my index. Well, that is my index, sorry, so that's going to be my denominator, which means this is going to, 3 is going to be the numerator. So I'm going to have 10 with 2 as the denominator and 3 as the numerator. Alright, let's do another one. Let's say we have this, like this. This is your index, remember? So that's going to become the denominator. So I'm going to have 2 here, 4 on the bottom, with a 5 on the top, which comes from this power here. So this power becomes the numerator, this index is the denominator. And that's our answer. Let's do another one. Let's say we have the square root of 3a. Actually, let's make it the cubed root. And then this is going to be to the 4th power. Well, again, this is our index, so that's going to become my denominator. So I write 3a here in parentheses because this is a parentheses, and to be safe, it's always good to use parentheses anyways. Your index is the denominator, so that's a 3, and then this 4 is your numerator. Now, if I do not use parentheses, and I write this like this, you guys can't see that. If I write it like this, 3a to the 4/3 power, that means the 4/3 power is only on the a and not on the 3. So I have to make sure I include the parentheses so that it will be on the whole term of 3a and all of that to the 4/3 power, as opposed to 4/3 on just the a. And that's how you convert from radical to exponential form.